I sat here about 3 years ago and described a problem I was having with my daughter, and from that got that what was more important than anything to teach her was that I love her and I'm not going to risk that relationship. And so that sort of broke loose the relationship with my kids to feel better with them, and so that disc is spinning and feels great. And most of the time the resources and the money thing is fine too. I think I probably focused on that question a lot this morning, and so I'm having a hard time getting off of it. But I get what you're saying.
Well, it's a nice thing. It's like here we are. We're in an environment where we've come to have a conversation, and there is some sound coming from the other room. Can you hear it? Of course you can hear it. So we have the opportunity of focusing on what we're doing, or focusing on what they're doing, or focusing on the fact that we can't really do what we're doing as well as we were before now that they're doing what they're doing. In other words, there's all kinds of combinations of things that we could do. But the bottom line is we can make the best of what's going on. And so that's sort of where you are all the time. You're in a position where you just make the best of where you are. You look for the positive aspects as best as you can find them. Lean in the direction of what feels the best. And what happens is you just keep reaching for the thoughts that feel the best. And we had the benefit of sort of getting this off and running before any of that started, and so we are not feeling from you any diminishment as a result of that, because the trajectory is established, and there's really not that much that noise from next door is going to do to hinder this gathering. In other words, we're rolling, we've got volume, we've got your attention, we can turn our sound up a little bit, although we're not wanting to interfere with them. We want to be considerate of their point of view. We want to understand their point of view. We don't want to get in a tug of war with another point of view. And so it's just a matter of, this is sort of what life is always about, isn't it? So when you realize that by waking up in the morning and thinking thoughts like, I really like the position that I'm in, and I have such a wonderful family, and while we've had our contrasting experiences, we're really stable and good. And I'm appreciative of where we stand financially. And life is really good for all of us. And it's not only good, but it's getting better. And nothing is going wrong here. And I really like knowing the power of focus. And I like discovering the focusing of my own mind. And I realize that a lot that I've been reaching for all along has been clarity. And I like finding a thought and following it out. And I like being so clear-minded that those around me are feeling the clarity of what I've got going on. And I realize that all along, any time I've sort of lost my footing, it was because I'd lost my clarity. It was because I was listening to complaints or yammering from someplace else and giving that the reason that I wasn't feeling so good. And since I couldn't control what's going on in the room next door, or I couldn't control what's going on in the mind of my kids, or I can't control what's going on in the economy, since there are so many things I can't control, when I focused upon what I couldn't control, I lost my way. But now I'm focusing upon what I can control, which is the direction of my thought. Now I'm feeling clarity. And it's such an interesting thing. One just perpetuates the other. When you get hold of this knowing that you can control the way you feel because you can control the direction of your thought within reason. You can't do it first crack out of the box. You got to work at it a little bit. But once you convince yourself that you can control the way you feel because you can control the direction of your thought, and then the outcome is affected by that, then suddenly everything in the world takes on a different look, because when you're not trying to do the impossible, which is control what you can't control, but you are doing the possible, which is to control the way you feel by directing your thoughts, and then you begin to feel this infinite intelligence beginning to dovetail with you, you begin getting this feeling of invincibility. It's like a feeling of empowerment, which is what you're all reaching for all the time, but until you access it yourself, in other words,